My sister mocked my wife for not being able to have children. My mum laughed. I smiled and said nothing. Then I made sure my sister lost custody and we adopted her children. She was begging at our door. My sister Ashley was drunk again. Wine glass never empty. Voice too loud. Eyes glassy. "So," she said, smirking across the Thanksgiving table, "when are you two finally having kids?" Every eye turned to us. Sarah's hand went cold in mine. We were at my parents' house. The dining room was too warm. Turkey smell mixed with wine and perfume. Candles flickering on the table. My father looked down at his plate. My mother smiled, waiting. Ashley leaned forward, red wine sloshing in her glass. "We're trying," I said quietly. Ashley laughed. That sharp, ugly laugh she's had since childhood. "Trying? It's been 5 years, Mark. 5 years. Maybe Sarah's broken." The room froze. Forks stopped clinking. Someone coughed. My aunt reached for her water glass. Then my mother smiled. Actually smiled. Then she laughed too. Not loud, just a quiet chuckle, like Ashley had said something clever. Sarah squeezed my hand hard enough to hurt. Her face stayed composed. That polite, dying smile people wear when they're bleeding inside. "I'm just saying," Ashley went on, taking another sip. "Some women just can't. It's biology. Maybe you should find someone who actually works." My mother nodded, sipped her wine. My father still stared at his plate. My uncle cleared his throat, changed the subject to football. But Ashley wasn't done. "I mean, I got pregnant with Emma practically by accident," she said. "And Jake, and Lily. Super easy. Some people are just meant to be mothers, you know?" She looked at Sarah. "No offense." I felt Sarah's hand trembling in mine, saw the way she was barely breathing, the way her jaw was clenched so tight I thought her teeth might crack. I didn't yell, didn't stand up, didn't defend my wife. I smiled, nodded, stayed silent, but something inside me shifted. Cold, deliberate, sharp. Ashley kept talking about her kids, about how easy motherhood was for her, about her natural maternal instincts. Sarah excused herself, said she needed air. I watched her go, watched her shoulders shake as she walked down the hallway toward the bathroom. Nobody followed her. Nobody said anything. Ashley poured more wine, laughed at something my uncle said about the game. My mother asked about dessert. Who wanted pumpkin pie? Who wanted apple? The conversation moved on, like nothing had happened, like my wife wasn't crying in the bathroom. I sat there, eating mashed potatoes, nodding at appropriate times. Inside, I was making calculations. We left early. Sarah didn't speak, just grabbed her coat and walked to the car. I made excuses, said she wasn't feeling well, said we'd see them soon. Ashley hugged me at the door, whispered, "Don't be mad, I'm just being honest. Someone needed to say it." I hugged her back. "I know," I said. My mother kissed my cheek, told me to drive safe. Sarah cried in the car, silent tears streaming down her face, mascara running, hands shaking in her lap. I drove in silence, the streetlights sliding across her face like ghosts. We'd been trying for 5 years. 5 years of negative tests, failed treatments, doctor's appointments, specialists, hormones, hope, devastation. Sarah had endometriosis, severe, the kind that made pregnancy nearly impossible. We'd spent thousands on fertility treatments, IVF, 3 rounds, drugs that made her sick for weeks, injections that left bruises on her stomach. Nothing worked. Every month, the same disappointment, the same grief. And now my sister had called her broken in front of everyone, and my mother had laughed. When we got home, Sarah went straight to the bedroom, closed the door. I heard her crying through the wall. I stood in the kitchen, stared at nothing, thought about walking in there, holding her, telling her Ashley was wrong, but I didn't move. That night, while Sarah finally slept, I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, thinking about Ashley, about her 3 kids, Emma, Jake, and Lily. Beautiful kids, sweet, smart, funny, neglected. Ashley had gotten pregnant the first time at 19. Accident. One night stand. She'd kept the baby. Said she'd figure it out. She hadn't. Emma was 9 now. Jake was 7. Lily was 5. 3 kids, 3 different fathers, none of them around. Ashley worked part-time at a bar downtown, Thursday through Saturday nights. Tips barely covered rent. She spent most of her money on clothes and wine and nights out with friends. The kids were always with babysitters, or my parents, or alone. I'd noticed it before, at family gatherings, birthday parties, holidays. The kids would be tired, dirty, quiet. Emma would make Jake's plate for him, cut his food, remind him to say please and thank you. 9 years old and already a mother. Lily would fall asleep at the table, 6 p.m., still in yesterday's clothes. Jake would ask for seconds, then thirds, like he hadn't eaten in days. I'd mentioned it to my parents once, 2 years ago. Ashley's struggling, my mother had said. She's doing her best. Single motherhood is hard. The kids seem neglected, I'd said. Don't exaggerate. They're fine. Ashley loves those kids. That was the end of the conversation. Now, lying in bed, I made a decision. I started watching, quietly. Ashley posted everything online. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, every night out documented, every new boyfriend, every girl's weekend in Vegas or Miami or Nashville. The kids always in the background of her stories. Dirty clothes, tangled hair, forgotten. I started saving things, screenshots, dates, times, captions like finally free, mom's night out, with photos of her at clubs at 2 a.m., posts from dive bars on Tuesday nights. Needed this so bad. Check-ins at hotels 40 miles away on school nights. Photos of her hungover at noon with captions like worth it. I organized them in a folder on my computer, labeled by date date, cross-referenced with school calendars. Then I started calling Emma, just to check in, just to be a good uncle. Hey sweetheart, how was school today? I didn't go, she said. Her voice was small, tired. How come? Mom forgot to wake me up. Where is she now? Still sleeping. What about Jake and Lily? They're watching TV. I made them cereal. I wrote it down. Date, time, details. That's good. You're a good big sister. Thanks, Uncle Mark. I called again the next week and the next. Always cheerful, always casual. Just Uncle Mark checking in. Did you guys have dinner tonight? Not yet. Mom's not home. Where is she? I don't know. She left this morning. She said she'd be back by dinner, but she's not. Are you okay? Do you need me to bring you something? No, we have ramen. I can make it. 9 years old. Making dinner for her siblings. I wrote it all down. The picture built itself slowly. Ashley left them alone most nights. Emma babysitting Jake and Lily, making meals, getting them to bed, helping with homework. No groceries in the house. No clean clothes for school. Emma missed school 4 times in 3 weeks. Told the office she was sick, but she was home taking care of Lily, who actually was sick. Jake told me once that the power had been shut off for 2 days. They'd slept at a neighbor's house. Don't tell Mom I told you, he said. She gets mad when people know stuff. I promised I wouldn't. I called more often, always with excuses. Just saying hi, just checking if they needed anything. Emma started telling me more. About the nights Ashley didn't come home. About the mornings she woke up to an empty house. About the time they ran out of food, and Emma walked to the gas station with her piggy bank money to buy bread and peanut butter. She was 9. Once Lily's school called me by mistake. Said no one had picked her up. That they'd been trying Ashley's phone for 2 hours. We have you listed as an emergency contact, the secretary said. Can you come get her? I picked her up myself. She was sitting in the office. 5 years old, tiny, red eyes from crying, scared. Where's Mommy? She asked. She got held up at work. I lied. She asked me to come get you. She doesn't work on Fridays. Smart kid. I bought her McDonald's, Happy Meal, toy and everything. Took her home. The house was a mess. Dishes piled in the sink, laundry everywhere, trash overflowing. Ashley showed up 3 hours later, makeup smudged, hair messy, smelling like alcohol and cigarettes. Oh shit, thanks for grabbing her, she said. Got caught up with some friends, lost track of time. She didn't apologize to Lily, didn't even hug her, just told her to go watch TV. I drove home that night thinking about Sarah, about how badly she wanted to be a mother, about how Ashley had 3 kids and treated them like inconveniences. That night, I made my decision. I called Child Protective Services the next day. Anonymous tip. Concerned family member. Possible neglect. I want to report a situation, I said. 3 children, ages 9, 7, and 5. Mother leaves them alone frequently. No food in the house. Kids missing school. Do you have specific dates? Yes. I gave them everything. Dates, times, details. Sent screenshots via their online portal. They said they'd investigate. 2 weeks later, they showed up at Ashley's house, unannounced. Early morning, standard procedure. The report made me sick when I eventually saw it. Spoiled food in the fridge, moldy leftovers, expired milk, mold growing in the bathroom, around the tub, on the ceiling, bare mattresses on the floor, no sheets, no pillows, no clean clothes, dirty dishes everywhere. The kids were home alone, Emma making cereal for breakfast, Ashley still at her boyfriend's apartment across town. CPS gave Ashley a warning, 90 days to fix the conditions, mandatory parenting classes, weekly home visits, random check-ins. She cried, begged for another chance, promised to do better. This is just a rough patch, she told the caseworker. I'm a good mom. I love my kids. For 2 weeks, she cleaned, kept the house decent, stayed home at night, posted on Facebook about being a changed woman, about prioritizing her babies. My mother called me, said she was proud of Ashley for turning things around. Then, 3 weeks later, Ashley posted photos from a girls' trip to Nashville. 4 days, bars, honky-tonks, Broadway, bottles of champagne, hotel pools. The kids were at my parents' house, but she'd told CPS she was staying home with them, part of her compliance agreement. I took screenshots, called CPS again, sent everything I had, screenshots, notes, call logs, school attendance records, photos of the house from when I'd picked up Lily. This is a pattern, I wrote. She's not changing. The children are still being neglected. This time, they acted fast. The caseworker called me on a Tuesday morning. Mr. Peterson? Yes. We've removed the children from the home. Emergency removal. We need an immediate placement for 3 siblings. You're listed as family. Will you take them? My heart stopped. Yes, I said immediately. Of course. When? Today, this afternoon. Sarah looked at me from the kitchen, eyes wide, confused. What's happening? She whispered. I covered the phone. Ashley's losing the kids. They're asking if we'll take them. Her face went pale. Then tears filled her eyes. Yes, she said. Yes, tell them yes. The kids arrived at 3 that afternoon. A social worker brought them. Woman in her 40s, kind eyes, tired. 3 small suitcases, scared faces. Emma held Lily's hand. Jake clutched a stuffed dinosaur missing one eye. Sarah dropped to her knees right there in the entryway, hugged them all, wouldn't let go. You're safe now, she whispered. You're safe here. We love you. Emma started crying, then Jake, then Lily. They all cried together on the floor. I stood there, watching, my throat tight. The social worker handed me paperwork. Temporary emergency custody, she said. There'll be a hearing in 2 weeks, but based on the evidence, I'd say this will become permanent. Good, I said. That night, our house was full for the first time in years. Sarah made spaghetti, garlic bread, salad. The kids ate 3 plates each, like like they hadn't seen food in days. Jake asked if he could have more, quietly, like he expected to be told no. You can have as much as you want, Sarah said. Always. Anytime you're hungry, you just tell me. After dinner, Sarah ran them a bath, all three together. Bubbles, toys. She washed their hair, gently, carefully, found lice in Emma's hair, treated it without making her feel ashamed. She read them bedtime stories, tucked them in, kissed their foreheads. Emma fell asleep, holding her hand. We stood in the hallway, watching them sleep. Thank you, Sarah whispered. I kissed her forehead. You're going to be an amazing mom. She started crying again. The next morning, the house smelled like pancakes. Sarah was at the stove, flour on her nose, hair in a messy bun, smiling wider than I'd seen in years. The kids sat at the table, laughing, arguing over who got the first pancake. Normal kid stuff. Jake asked for another, then another. You can have as many as you want, Sarah said. Lily wanted hers shaped like a heart. Sarah made it happen. Then the phone rang. Ashley. She was screaming before I even said hello. What the fuck did you do? You can't do this. They're my kids. Give them back. I walked into the other room, closed the door so the kids wouldn't hear. You should have thought about that, I said calmly. You called them, didn't you? You fucking called CPS on me. You did this. You did this to yourself. I'll fix it, Mark. I swear to God. Please, just give me another chance. I'll do everything they said. I'll go to the classes. I'll clean the house. I'll stop drinking. Please, they're my babies. Goodbye, Ashley. Mark, please don't. I hung up. She called back immediately. I didn't answer. 17 missed calls that day, 23 the next. I blocked her number. 2 days later, she showed up at the door. It was early morning, 7 a.m. The kids were eating breakfast. Pancakes again. Sarah was making coffee. The pounding started suddenly, hard, desperate. Let me see them, Ashley screamed through the door. You can't keep them from me. I know they're in there. Open the door. I walked to the door, took a breath, opened it. She looked terrible, worse than I'd ever seen her. Makeup smeared down her face, eyes bloodshot and wild, hair unwashed and tangled. She smelled like cigarettes and stale wine, wearing the same clothes from her Facebook photos in Nashville. Let me in, she demanded. No, they're my kids. Behind me, Sarah was in the kitchen flipping pancakes. The smell of butter and syrup filled the air. The kids were laughing at something Jake said. Normal, happy, safe. They're happy here, I said. I don't care. They're mine. You can't just take someone's kids. She tried to push past me. I blocked her, held the door. You need to leave. Please, she said. Her voice cracked. Real tears now. Please, Mark. I'll change. I'll do better, I promise. I'll be the mom they deserve. Just let me see them, please. I looked down at her. The same woman who'd humiliated my wife in front of our family. The woman who'd called Sarah broken while our mother laughed. The woman who'd valued her freedom more than her children. Remember Thanksgiving? I asked quietly. She blinked through tears, confused. What? Thanksgiving? Last month, when you said Sarah was broken? I was drunk. I didn't mean it. I say stupid shit when I drink. You know that. You were wrong, I said. Behind me, Sarah flipped another pancake. The kids giggled, bright and free. Lily was asking for chocolate chips. She's perfect. From the table, Emma called out, Uncle Mark, come see my pancake. It looks like a dinosaur. I smiled. A real smile. Warm. Alive. The first genuine smile I'd felt since that dinner. And now, I said quietly, looking back at Ashley, she's a mom. Ashley's face collapsed. She fell to her knees on the porch, sobbing, hands covering her face. Please, she whispered. Please don't do this. They're all I have. You should have thought about that before. I'm their mother. No, I said. You gave birth to them. That's not the same thing. I looked back once more, at Sarah, at the kids, at our family, laughing, whole, safe. Emma was helping Lily cut her pancake. Jake was asking Sarah about school, if he could go today, if he could bring his dinosaur. Sarah was smiling, really smiling. The kind of smile I thought we'd lost forever. I looked back at Ashley, still on her knees, still crying. Goodbye, Ashley. Then I stepped inside and closed the door.